How you guys doing? I'm hoping you're enjoying your time with your family. I want to make my end of the year list, which is the next top five uh, movies of the year. So the way this list is working is my last video I made with my top five favorite movies of the year. Those are my favorite movies of the year. If I was making a top 10, these would be 10 through 6, basically. Uh, and then the other five would be on that list. So just take these videos together as a top 10 list of my favorite movies of the year. If you disagree, honestly, I think some of these movies will be pretty hard to disagree with, but that's just me. I think this year was a fantastic year for movies. This year almost felt as great as 2019 did for movies. Just incredible works of art, incredible visionaries and filmmakers finally getting their piece out there, making some pretty damn good movies that are pretty damn impressive. Uh, just a couple honorable mentions though before we get into the list. Lightyear is one of my favorite movies of the year, but it's not good enough to be on this list. Super Pets, I had a lot of fun with it, but not good enough to be on this list. I wanted to also mention Babylon. I haven't seen that movie, but I'm sure I'll love that movie or enjoy that movie at least. But I don't think it'll beat these movies, so I'm just gonna make the list regardless. Um, and Avatar: The Way of Water, great, awesome movie. Just I don't think it's better than these movies. And finally, Clerks 3. That movie made me cry, made me think about my own life, and Kevin Smith made one a hell of an awesome sequel to a movie that I thought should never have a sequel, the original Clerks. But this movie was awesome. Number 5 is Pearl. Pearl's on this list because it is technically a prequel to X. I didn't like X that much. And, this is one of those horror movies that I enjoyed this movie, but it's so gross and disgusting that I would never want to watch this film again, if that makes sense. So it's not higher on this list because it's just disgusting. And that's just the way I feel about it. But it is an awesome movie. Mia Goth is great in this movie. The cinematography is great. It's an awesome movie. And yeah, I've seen it a couple times, and it continues to be really good. And it's solid. I liked it way better than X, and I can't wait for the third one. Maxine, I believe. I think it's Maxine. But yeah, that's number 5. Number 4 is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I ended up putting this movie on the list because this is the second best animated movie. I feel like every list should include at least 2 animated movies if it can, because sometimes there's just really bad animation years. This year was kind of a bad animation year, even though I enjoyed things with Lightyear quite a bit. Kind of a disappointment. Positive Fury was terrible. Superbad's fun, but it's just not great either. Minions, didn't even watch it. Other than Puss in Boots and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, animation this year was kind of lackluster. And this film was awesome. It's beautifully animated. I've seen it twice now. It's very funny. It's very clever, very witty, and I can't wait to see more from DreamWorks in the upcoming years. They've done a lot to improve as a studio recently, and this is just awesome. Number 3 is The Fabelmans. The Fabelmans is awesome in a lot of ways. It is a beautifully directed movie. Steven Spielberg has a lot to say throughout this movie. It's at this spot though because I was still disappointed by the film we got. It's got a lot of inaccuracies to Steven Spielberg's real life that seem really bizarre, and maybe on more viewings will sit with me better, but they didn't quite sit with me as well as this film did. And I grew to really love and appreciate this movie the more it sits with me and the more I think about it. It's a beautifully directed film. The acting and performances are all awesome, and it's easily Steven Spielberg's best in a long time. Number 2, The Whale. The Whale, should be higher, but the movie at number 1 I just enjoy more, so really you could switch them, but I enjoy this one way more. Or the one at number 1 way more. This one is an awesome movie. Brendan Fraser gives incredibly deep, profound performance. This film has a lot to say about life, death, ourselves, what weighs us down, and how we entrench ourselves in sadness and pain and other things. It's easily one of David Aronofsky's best films ever. Um, I mean, none of his films are ever going to beat Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream, but this one definitely does give them a run for their money. This is a beautifully shot film, and it's just a masterpiece on every level of filmmaking. And I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to watch this film nor stomach it, but I do absolutely adore this film. Number one, The Batman. I mean, look at him. I had to put him at number one. Yeah, I love this film as a huge DC guy. Of course, I was never gonna put a Marvel movie on this list. I'm kidding, but I do like Marvel. Just I didn't think any of them, particularly this year, were good enough to be in the number one spot, or not number one spot, but at least be on this list at all. Even though Doctor Strange did come very close, the Batman is still an immaculate piece of like Batman media. It's just gorgeously shot. The music is great. Bow, 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 bow. That theme is incredible. The acting, the performances, the story, the way it's all put together could have been a little bit shorter. Climax could have been a little less insane. Like it does feel like it goes off a little too off the rails towards the end of it, but I still have been able to watch this film, a 3-hour film, 5 times this year, and have not gotten sick of it and only grown to like it more. This is an awesome piece of a Batman media, comic book media, and just an awesome film, even if it wasn't based on a comic book. And I think that's a thing that we do need to clarify because, there's good comic book movies and then there's good movies. And I hate to say it like that, but there a little bit is. For some, at least the way certain people describe comic book movies. Anyways, like, most of the Marvel movies you watch are not the best films of the year, but a lot of people treat them that way. But yeah, this is an awesome movie. Loved it.